Welcome back, this is Jack, and this is 360 Watch Reviews. Today I'm going to be looking at the Breitling Galactic Unitime SleekT, powered by a well-timed manufacturer Breitling Calibre B35, which displays 24 cities representing the 24 time zones. The first feature that I'm immediately drawn to is the globe pattern, which is printed on the dial. I'll just zoom in here. Very nice. It's a very good indication that this watch is a world time function. The traditional B logo just below the 12 o'clock position right here is done in solid 18 karat gold. Breitling have now used a new composite material for their bezel. This is tungsten carbide. Incomparable in hardness, it is almost 5 times superior in strength to that of steel and is also scratch resistant. Not only does this complement the scratch resistant qualities of the sapphire crystal, tungsten carbide is a shade darker than the steel, which provides a subtle contrast between the two metals. 44mm in case diameter, it is also 15.3mm thick. That being said, considering what this is housing, I don't think that is a bad thickness at all, and it sits very nicely on the wrist, which you will see later. 100 meters water resistant with a screw down crown. This particular crown is a prominent feature on the Galactic and Chronomat range. The addition of the crown guards on either side quite deliberately resemble the look of a plane, which for those of us that know Breitling is a nod to the brand's long-time affiliation with aviation. The Breitling bracelet here is known as the Pilot bracelet. Is comprised of 120 parts and features an adjustable clasp and safety catch. And again, the detail is nicely finished with Breitling's recognisable wing and anchor logo. The Pilot bracelet uses screws and not split pins, making for an easy adjustment. Here we are. For when you need to do it from home. Much better than split pins. Sorry, my focus isn't working there, so we'll move on. Breitling have also very considerately designed the case so that any strap can fit between the lugs without leaving a gap. I'll show you what I mean by this. Try to get a good shot. Okay. This section here that would normally be covered via a wing piece connected to the bracelet is engineered into the case. This makes the watch extremely versatile in terms of enabling the user to switch between the bracelet and aftermarket straps. A huge plus, because there's nothing worse than there being a gap left here when you put on a new strap, or indeed this bracelet. It fits very flush against the case. Really well thought out. Okay, now the movement. As with all Breitlings, the movement is a chronometer certified, enhancing the accuracy to a tolerance of -4 + 6 seconds a day. We have a really nice power reserve of 70 hours. The jouled movement, I believe, is 41 joules. Now, the caseback is solid, which I think was a smart decision on Breitling's part. The B35 movement is not a visually captivating movement. It is very industrial in its appearance and not highly decorated. So a see-through caseback is, not put on for these reasons and would only serve to increase the thickness of the case, which wouldn't be wise. The B35 serves a very different purpose, and that is its unprecedented user-friendliness, world-time capability, which boasts 4 patents. So if you're wondering why you can't see it, there isn't a reason to. The mobile discs on the dial, you've got one here, the day and night indicator, 24-hour indicator, and you've also got the city disc indicator here. Now, they are both operated via the crown. So, without further ado, I'll show you how this works. Okay, it's popped. First position. Allows you to engage the city disc. By turning the crown, you can effortlessly jump backwards or forwards between each time zone. The date window at the 3 o'clock position will change accordingly, and this will not harm the movement in any way. Notice how the city disc also bears the indications in red, enabling the user to take into account of summer or daylight saving time. The time zone shown on the central hands corresponds with that of the time zone displayed at the 12 o'clock position. So at the moment we are in Kiev, and here we are back in London. This is otherwise known as your reference time. During the operations, the minute and seconds hand continue to function as normal without any loss of precision. And again, when you change it between time zones, that is a really, really big plus, because it does actually alleviate the responsibility of resyncing the watch so that you are as perfect at a time as you can be. Now, the second position allows the user to adjust the 24-hour disc independently. This will stop the watch. The use of the two colours, black and white, represent day and night. So you can't really get any more user-friendly than what I've just shown you. It is absolutely perfect in its functionality, and the user is going to get a lot of satisfaction with just how easy it is to do, and how nicely, for that matter, it is displayed on the dial. So I'll pop that back in. As we covered earlier, a screw-down crown. Despite being much bigger and vastly improved in terms of its mechanical technology and materials, the design has stayed very true to the original Breitling Unitime released in 1951. This watch will serve any traveller well and will rival many other brands who have developed a well-timed complication. Now, the criticisms, there are not many. The high polish finish on the case and bracelet shows up marks very easily. Now, I'll demonstrate this. Again, not brilliantly shown on this camera, but fingerprints show up like the 4th of July. It's really that simple. I find myself doing this on a daily basis just to wipe away any markings. There you go, you can see some more on the bracelet right there. That is the sacrifice of a high polish finish. As eye-catching as it is, it will show up every mark very clearly. Again, very small. The luminescence on the dial, I do not have a demonstration for you because it always shows up rather poorly on these videos, but there is some luminescence on the minute and hour hand, plus also on the hour indices. They do not show up as brilliantly as they could. However, this is immaterial in my opinion, as this is not a diver. Some might argue that aviation watches do require a degree of enhanced visibility. However, on this, it's not really needed. The watch is big enough and legible enough to read the time. The fact that the luminescence isn't as good as other watches really isn't something to worry too much about. People might complain of the case size. 44mm is big. I'm used to the size of about 41, 42 is kind of the, I guess, the industry average in this day and age. However, you're not going to go for a Breitling if you're uncomfortable with oversized watches. Breitling make their watches oversized deliberately for two reasons. One, it does actually make a statement, quite obviously, but also two, enhanced readability through the size of the case. You know, instruments for professionals, that is their tagline, that is their slogan. They need to be their watches nice and big for whoever's going to be using them. These are tool watches. And there you have it, the Breitling Galactic Unitime SleekT, an absolutely stunning piece, which I'll show you very quickly on the wrist before we run over. I'm very happy with it.